Imagine a future, not a distant sci-fi future, but one just a few decades away, where Earth begins to fail. The climate has reached a point of no return. Rising sea levels have swallowed coastlines, droughts and fires have turned once fertile lands into deserts, and food systems begin to collapse. Wars no longer start over ideology, but over water, oxygen, and livable land. Unlike sudden, world-ending catastrophes, this scenario is painfully slow and impossible to ignore. There's no asteroid or alien invasion, just the accumulation of decades of neglect. Eventually, humanity faces a choice: stay and risk extinction, or leave and risk the unknown. Governments, corporations, and scientific institutions pool their resources, not out of hope, but desperation. Escape is no longer fantasy. It becomes policy. Welcome to Parallel, a mix of storytelling and thought-provoking what-if scenarios, combining narrative fiction and analysis that includes real-world science, philosophy, and potential real-world implications. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so that you do not miss out on the next episode. Because, one reality, boom, is never enough.
You were asleep when she left. Your mum. She didn't want to say goodbye. Couldn't really. There weren't any words that would have made it easier. Just one last kiss on your head, and she stepped onto that ship, heading for a world none of us have ever seen, to start again. I tell myself it was her dream, but truth is, it had to be someone, and she was chosen. So now it's just you and me, waiting, hoping, wondering if there's still a future here, or if all our futures are up there with her.
The science of the escape. This wouldn't be science fiction. It would be science under pressure. Today, we already have early-stage concepts like SpaceX's Starship, NASA's Orion program, and Blue Origin's vision for orbital habitats. But none of them are ready for the scale this would require. We'd need to build generational ships, enormous spacefaring arcs capable of supporting life for hundreds of years, or until faster-than-light travel becomes possible. The most likely method? A propulsion system based on ion thrusters, nuclear propulsion, or speculative concepts like the Alcubierre warp drive, if we crack the physics in time. The destination? A short list of exoplanets in the habitable zone of their stars. The most hopeful candidate so far is Proxima b, orbiting Proxima Centauri. At 4.2 light-years away, even a generational ship would take hundreds, if not thousands of years, to reach it with current or near-future technology. Cryogenic sleep might be necessary. Or maybe, human life continues aboard the ship, children born in metal halls, never knowing what it means to feel wind or walk barefoot on grass. And now comes the ethical dilemma. Who gets to go? This isn't just about skills. It's about genetics, temperament, and psychological fitness. Entire teams would be created to select the few thousand who represent the best hope for restarting civilization. Would it be fair? Probably not. Historically, privilege has always found a way onto lifeboats. We see echoes of this in films like Don't Look Up and Interstellar, where humanity's elite quietly prepare their exit while the masses are left behind. But there would also be noble intent. Scientists, teachers, doctors, agricultural experts, engineers, each person selected not for wealth, but for what they could contribute. But even so, only a fraction of the world's population would make it. And what of those who remain? Would the world dissolve into chaos and despair, or would people rally around the remaining years they have left? In some regions, yes, there would be anarchy. Not because people are evil, but because hopelessness corrupts. But in others, something astonishing might happen, a renaissance of humanity, a return to community, to art, to faith, to purpose. Some might believe they still have time to fix Earth. Some might cling to the idea that those who left will one day return, and others will simply live each day fully, knowing they are the last chapter of human history on this planet. This exodus would split humanity, not just physically but spiritually. Those aboard the ship would bear the weight of memory. They'd live knowing they left billions behind, that they are not only survivors, but the sole custodians of a lost world. Their children would grow up hearing stories of trees, of oceans, of birdsong, things they'll never see. Meanwhile, those left behind would live under the shadow of abandonment. Would they forgive the ones who left? Or curse them for not finding a way to save everyone? There would be generational guilt, existential grief, and moments of awestruck wonder. We left Earth, something no other species has done. But at what cost? The future. What comes next? Assuming the ship survives and a new world is reached, what would the next chapter of humanity look like? We might build a new society that learns from Earth's mistakes, or we might carry our flaws with us across the stars. Would democracy survive? Would greed? Would love? Earth, meanwhile, might not be lost forever. Some small populations might endure in hidden places, underground, in polar regions, or in closed biodomes. Centuries later, they might even re-emerge changed but still human. Maybe, just maybe, one day, descendants of Earth and descendants of the stars will meet again to tell each other the stories of what came before. This isn't just a what if, it's a warning and a mirror. The idea that we might have to leave Earth isn't about escaping. It's about facing ourselves, our choices, our failures, and our astonishing potential. If you were given the choice to board that ship to a new world and help humanity begin again, or stay behind to live out your days on a dying planet with the people you love, what would you choose? One species, two paths, one world dying, another a world waiting. In the end, it's not just about survival. It's about who we are when everything we've known begins to fade. Thank you so much for listening in to this episode of Parallel. If you have an idea for a future episode, drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel grow its audience. Until the next episode, remember, one reality is never enough.